Hey everybody, Trevor here. Welcome to the next episode of the Carrot Cast, Truck Talks edition. And if you're new to the Carrot Cast, anytime I go on a trip, I whip out my little recorder here, and I love kind of decompressing and talking about what I've been doing, how business has been, how life has been, things like that. And I'm actually in between Eugene, Oregon, and Roseburg, Oregon right now. And one of the things I love to do too, guys, is introduce you to my stomping grounds. So hopefully over the episodes, you'll kind of be a little bit more familiar with Oregon and what we're doing here. It's an amazing place to live and run a business. But I'm driving back from Eugene from the airport. It's about an hour away from Roseburg where I live, and it is straight up midnight right now. It just turned midnight. And I'm coming home from a pretty damn amazing week, and it was really cool. So I was down in San Diego, flew down there Sunday, and as I'm recording this, it is actually Wednesday night turned Thursday since it's midnight. And I was down there for Mastermind, and we have done episodes of the Carrot Cast on Masterminds before. Go check the archives. Go to carrotcast.com and check the archives and look for Mastermind. And I did one with Jason Medley. I've done Facebook Lives on Masterminds. And honestly, Masterminds have been a big part of my business life. It's been a massive part of whatever success that I've had. I contribute a lot of it to really being a part of groups of amazing people that up-level me, and hopefully I can up-level them. And the first mastermind that I ever joined, a paid mastermind anyway, was back in 2012 when I was going through that pretty big kind of transformative part during my life. And once again, if you're new, we talk about this. I don't remember which episode it is, but with a team member of mine, Mike Blankenship, we talk about passion and purpose, and I talk about that big transformation that I had to go through in 2011, 12, even into 13. And it was a big deal. And part of that was joining this mastermind, and it took a big leap of faith. It was $20,000 for the year, plus the travel and plus everything that went with that. So you're probably talking 25 grand. And the people I was surrounded with, the concepts that I absorbed, the time that I had to pull away and really do some hard thinking, even just in the airplane, it changed my life. And it seems like every couple of years I end up joining another mastermind that's more geared toward that phase I am in life. And I've had my own mastermind for about 7 years now with a former business partner of mine, Patrick Riddle, and it's amazing people. It's a blast. And same thing, there's just been some things that have really changed my life in that. So this week, I was down at a mastermind called Collective Genius. And if you guys haven't heard of it, CG is it's most definitely the highest level real estate investor, for residential real estate investor mastermind in the country. And it's 100 some odd of the most amazing investors out there, the biggest house flippers, biggest wholesalers. And you walk into the room, and I'm talking, there's people there that are doing 600-700 flips a year, and it's insane. And not one person in the room is doing less than about 50. And there's people who own 3, 4, 5, 600, 1,000 rentals. There's people who manage 4,000 rentals, and it's just a whole different caliber of person. And one really cool thing. So I'm gonna kind of take a moment here and bask in a little bit of carrot love. It was the coolest thing because it's the first time I've been to CG, and if you guys want to check out CG, go into our marketplace if you're a Carrot customer and find it in there, or go to oncarrot.com/CG, oncarrot.com/CG. Once again, oncarrot.com/CG. If you're doing 5 deals or more a month, that might be a mastermind that you should check out, and it is legitimately the most amazing mastermind for real estate wholesalers and flippers, and I stand behind it fully. On carrot.com/CG. But so when I was down there, there were definitely a lot of notes that I took and a lot of things that I'm coming away, both learning, both grateful that I had a chance to pour into them to help them, and also some things that I'm honestly really grateful for. The way that we've been growing Carrot, the way that we've been growing this business versus versus what I see oftentimes out there in the marketplace, whether it's our industry, software or real estate investing. There's different ways you can grow a business, and there's some ways that honestly are going to leave you more fulfilled as a person, and they're going to help you really guide you toward that passion and toward the purpose. And there's other business models that it could really leave your bank account full, but the rest of you half full or half empty. And this is something I want to kind of bring up, because as I'm surrounded by amazing investors who are at the top of their game around the country, what I continually see is, and I don't want this to sound bad, like I'm painting a broad stroke, and it's not CG. It's real estate investors in general. For some reason, a lot of us think that business is about the transactions, that business is about the numbers. And whether it's our employees or whether it's our customers or whatever it is, I think real estate investors in general, for some reason, they don't believe that they can have a tight connection with their client. Especially if you're flipping houses or wholesaling, where oftentimes it might be a one-off transaction, and I think investors treat it that way. They treat it that way too much. Hey, I'm not going to work with this person again. I'm going to churn and burn, and there's no reason for me to invest more fully into like really loving on these people and really providing this amazing customer experience, something that those people freaking rave about, and that's something that they go and compare every other business they ever work with to your service. And there's survey after survey, and it's been done for years. I mean, they've probably been running these surveys for decades, and they run surveys on the most and least trusted industries or professions, and real estate agents and investors are always up there in the top 5 least trusted industries. Okay, least trusted and respected. You've got attorneys right up there. You've got some other ones that just people for some reason believe that real estate agents and investors is a industry that people do not trust and respect, the practitioners in there in general. And you start to ask the question, why? Why is that? Is it inherent in the product of real estate that for some reason the transaction of real estate lends itself to lack of respect and lack of trust in general with the marketplace? I don't think it is. I think it's the way that people approach the business, and they're approaching it in the churn and burn mindset. Once again, you might even focus on having a good internal culture, but then what happens oftentimes is those people are then complaining about the client and complaining about talking with the client or bad-mouthing the client behind the scenes. And can you imagine what that does to your culture and to the rest of your team when you guys are bad-mouthing the client? Okay, when you have 100 people call you from your direct mail drop and yell at you on voicemail to get you off of the list, and then you're bad-mouthing that. Well, why don't we figure out ways that we do marketing that people like? Why don't we figure out ways that we do marketing that adds a ton of value and gets results? Why don't we figure out ways to do transactions to where you don't have to try to hide or be have lack of transparency around the way that you're making your offers? Why don't we structure our business to where people are insanely proud to have worked with you, that people are insanely the experience that they have is freaking awesome. You close the transaction, and they get a thank you note the next week, or handwritten thank you note. You're really pouring into them and saying, I really appreciate working with you. I know we worked through some issues, but we appreciate you sticking alongside us, and here's a $50 gift card to your favorite restaurant. That right there is something that you don't have to do. And I think a lot of people look at it on the bottom line as an expense item. But here at Carrot, guys and gals, we have 3,000 plus clients, and we send out over 1,000 dolls, over 1,000 Carrot Bud dolls every year. And why do we do that? It costs us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do that, to send those out. And a lot of people look at it, even people in our industry, and like, man, what are you doing? What are you doing with that money? And I'm looking at it going, man, that's some of the best investment that we have. And for those of you who are new to the podcast, once again, I'm driving in my truck right now. So if you hear any of the road noise in the background, I apologize about it, but hopefully the message is getting to you. So what ways can we really elevate the industry? What ways can we really elevate what people expect of real estate investors, what people expect of real estate agents, so they don't work with you expecting this hard sell, so they don't work with you expecting this dancing around the transparency of how you come up with your offer, of how you work, so people don't expect all this little kind of behind the scenes type of stuff. Why don't we take all of those things that they're already skeptical about, take them out of the closet, make that skeleton dance, make it a selling point that you're transparent when your competitors aren't, okay? And really build those relationships, because while you're churning and burning thinking it's a one-off transaction, what if they have an aunt or uncle? What if they have a dad or mom? Or what if they have another house or 2 or 3 or 4 houses that they want to sell you, and you're treating it as a one-off transaction? Instead, once again, how can we follow up with those sellers, those buyers, and just love on them in a big way at the closing table, before the closing table, after the closing table, for the next 3 years, finding ways to communicate with those people. One of my favorite things to do over the past 2 or 3 years is Success Magazine has these little, starting to rain. Success Magazine has these little quote books, and they kind of look like passports, and you can go to success.com, and somewhere on there, I'm sure there's a link, but you can buy these little quote books. It's like Zig Ziglar's big book of quotes, and this other book of quotes or whatever. And I love those things, because I'll open up those books of quotes, and if I'm thinking about someone, I'll read through it for 5 minutes. And I love reading the quotes anyway, because it gets me recentered on good, positive messages in my brain. It pours those into my brain, which we all need those on a consistent basis. And hopefully this podcast is that beacon of positivity and possibility for you. But then I'll circle a quote, I'll star it, I'll write a little note to the person that I'm thinking about in the front of the quote book, and then I mail it to them, just with a little handwritten note. Hey, I was thinking about you. This quote on page 14 that I circled, I think really, really is going to resonate with you. Check it out. Have an amazing week. And what if you did that for your team members every now and then? What if you did that for your cash buyers, for your sellers, anyone like that, where if one of your core values is something related to helping people be more positive, or whatever it is, let's live that core value to our clients after the transaction. And one of our core values here at Care, I can name off several of them that fit that. That is an example of us living that core value loud and proud. Is a beacon of positivity. Possibility course is one of them. Another one is consistent and never-ending improvement. We want to help not just us improve, we want to help our clients. We want to help you guys consistently improve, because we know that when you improve, your business is going to improve. And of course, like, there's some selfish stuff in there too, that when your business improves and you're a client of ours, then we do better. But the cool thing is, the better we do, the better you're going to do, because we can pour back into R&D and developing our product. We can pour back into hiring out great team members to help you more. We can pour back into just all kinds of things that are going to be able to help you do what you do better. Okay, another one of our core values, gratitude for everything. So that right there is taking that 5 seconds. Be grateful for that seller that gave you the opportunity to make that $60,000 or to make that $10,000 or $100,000. How many of us take the transaction, we churn and burn, and then we don't take that 10 seconds and show, really internalize how damn grateful we should be that seller chose to work with you, that's putting food on your table. They could have worked with someone else. They could have held off and worked with an agent possibly. We should be freaking grateful for them as much as they should be grateful for you for your service. And so what are we doing to show that gratitude? I think the first step is internalizing. You're going, damn, I'm so grateful for having the opportunity to run a business like this and work with the people that we work with and be able to provide a service that truly helps people. Assuming you are providing a service that truly helps people. I hope you are. But then next, let's be grateful for the people that helped us get there. Those title agents that you're working with, those mortgage brokers, those, the real estate agents you're working with. Let's show that gratitude, internalize it for that 10 seconds, and get some things that you can, get some mechanisms that you can use to then mail out to those people, to text message people, those little messages to show them that you care. And that makes a big deal. I'll tell you for sure that makes a big deal. One really cool example of this shining through in real life. And once again, if you're listening to this going, well, yeah, of course you guys can do this because your company name is Carrot and you guys are like making it fun and all this kind of stuff. And, we're just working with house sellers. That's a mindset. That's completely a limiting belief. Okay. There's been other people in this industry that have started companies exactly like ours, selling a product that at least, as a whole solves a very similar problem, websites, in the past. And these founders of these companies that went out of business doing this were miserable because they said they didn't like their client base. And it wasn't that the client base was bad. It was that their marketing message was bad. The marketing message spoke to the wrong client, so they attracted the wrong client. The way that they interacted with the client wasn't in a way that really lived core values that resonated with the client. And when you truly do run your business and live your life with a set of core values that's posted on the wall that everyone in your team believes in, that you guys live and breathe, you're gonna attract those kinds of clients. And that's why we have so many amazing customers. Now, of course, out of 3,000 customers, are we gonna have some that just aren't on the same wavelength as us? Completely yes, 100%. But we always hope that we can uplift those people and really uplift them with our core values. And if we can't, then sweet, they should go work with someone else who has a better core value match for them. Okay, and that's something we highly encourage anyone who doesn't match the same core values as us. Go find a company that you resonate with more. Okay, it's going to be better for you. It's going to be better for us. It's going to be better for everyone. All right. So what are you guys doing in your marketing that is attracting the client that you don't want to hang out with? So when I was at this mastermind, which once again is the most amazing mastermind for investors, amazing mastermind. When I was at this mastermind, we were talking about all kinds of things, related to happiness in our businesses. Because you have these people who are insanely financially successful, that are at the pinnacle in their markets. And yet when we got to talking in day 2 of the mastermind, we got to talking. We would kind of ask, hold on one second. I'm on the road here going through a bridge and there's a bunch of road construction here. Man, a lot happened in the 3 days I was gone. This place is a zoo. So I'm in Roseburg now. I'm in Roseburg, Oregon, my hometown, and I've got another 10, 15 miles to get to my house. So I got a little bit of time here. But when we were talking in the mastermind, what was happening was people started talking about happiness and doing what they do. One guy said, man, I'm finding more off-market inventory than ever. I'm working my butt off to get this done. I've had the highest revenue months I've ever had. And he said, but I'm working till 2 a.m. every night. I'm working till 2 a.m, just grinding, just working my ass off. And that's not why most of us became entrepreneurs. That's not why we did it. Because at some point, if once you get past that first financial hurdle and you don't need the money and the money is the game, what happens is you start to resent it. You start to resent the business. You start to resent that medium, that tool that's sucking that time up for you, and you don't even have the time to go enjoy the money now. Okay. And what's one way that, and I'm saying this because I've experienced this with my previous companies. If you're new to the Carrot Cast, check out the past episodes. I dive into my story in detail. But so we started talking, and I asked everyone, there was about 30 or 40 people in the room that I was in, and there was another 30 or 40 people. I think there's 40 people in the next room. And then the second half of the week, the rest of the, there's 2 other sessions that go, all amazing people, bunches of Carrot clients. But I said, guys and gals, out of about 40 people, I said, by raise of hands, how many people in here would like absolutely love to have a beer with your average client? And there was literally out of 40 people, probably about 4 people that raised their hands. About 4 people out of 40 amazing investors in the room said that they work with the type of client that they actually want to hang out with. And to me, that's a big deal. This is your livelihood. This is where you're spending the majority of your time. And if we're marketing to a client that we resent, if we're marketing in the way that attracts the client that we resent, I can tell you with experience that it's not going to end well. Okay, it's not going to end well for you. You're not going to be happy. You could be rich and unhappy. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be fulfilled in the work that you do. You may be amazingly financially successful, and you may be listening to this going, man, I don't care about that stuff. I just want to make the money. Sweet. Keep doing that. Grow that revenue stream. Sock some money away. Get your family financially free. But I can guarantee you're going to hit a point where you're going to go, man, is this all that there is? Is this all that there is? So how do we make sure that we're marketing to a client that we want to hang out with, that we're marketing to a client in a way that loves on them, that they love it back, and that you truly are like creating this just cycle where you're enjoying your business more because you enjoy your client base? Well, there's a few ways I mentioned before. The first thing is you got to have a set of core values. We've talked about this before. We have a whole episode on core values. Go check it out at carrotcast.com or check out it in iTunes. The next thing you got to do is you got to live those core values. Put them on the wall. Bake them into everything that you do. Bake them into the way that you close your transactions. Bake them in the way that you talk to people on the phone. Bake them into your training and your hiring. The core values cannot just be something you think about once and put up there. They got to be things that you're intentionally working on every single day to live and breathe those core values and work them into your marketing, just like this. So if you guys want to see this in actual practice, this podcast you're listening to right this second is me doing this, is me living exactly what I'm telling you works, okay? And this works because I'm passionate about our core values. I really believe that if more people are to live these, and if more businesses are to do business this way, that it's going to make the world a better place. And it's also more profitable. And it's more fun. So it's like there's no bad stuff there. The thing is, it's hard. It's hard. It's not that that developing core values is hard. It's that living these things every single day and consciously working them into everything you're doing is hard until you create a habit out of it, and then it becomes crazy easy. Then it becomes second nature. Then it becomes exciting, and you attract the client you want to attract. Okay. And the next thing you got to do is, guys, have fun at the business. Okay. Stop trying to pinch pennies and shave every single damn dollar, out of that profit margin, put it in your pocket. Take some of that money and do some things that like really throw that love out there to your client. Okay, because no matter if that client is someone you want to sit down and have a beer with, that client's a human being. That client's someone who they have their own problems, they have their own things that they love, they have their own. You are now a part of their life story. Okay, you're now a part of their life story. You didn't sell them a pack of gum. You sold them or bought a home from them. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's not something they're going to do 100 times in their life, probably. Okay, so you literally are now a part of their life story. And how can we amplify that? How can we use that as an opportunity to truly show them that they matter, to show them that you care, and that they're more than just this extra comma, in your bank account? How can we use that opportunity to uplift your business so your business makes a bigger difference, so you get 2, 3, 4, 5 years into this and your business has purpose and your business has mission. You don't get burnt out on it because you're like, man, this business has become nothing but chasing the dollar, chasing the commas. Okay? So that's huge. And once again, I'm saying this from a point of love, and I'm saying this from a point of experience where I've gone through this multiple times with my previous businesses. And the last episode of the Carrot Cast, I think, or 2 episodes ago, something like that, it's called my non-negotiables. I created 5 non-negotiables before I launched Carrot about 4 years ago. And I live by those. And if my businesses ever become something that goes against those 5 non-negotiables, I change it or I'm getting rid of the business. It's just not worth it. Just not worth it. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up with this. I want to challenge y'all to go out there and let's get rid of those preconceived notions on what a real estate investor or real estate agent is. Let's get rid of that, at least for you, at least for your bubble. We're not going to change the world just with this podcast, right? Hopefully we can. Hopefully we can make our little dent in it, and you can take it and share it to people that you feel it's going to resonate with and lift up and really, really cast it out there. But in your world, let's start making real estate professionals people who are in among the top most respected professions instead of among the worst respected, least respected, and trusted professions. Okay? Let's do that. Let's change that right now, and you can do it. You can do it just by changing the way you do business. Come up with a set of core values you resonate with in life and in business. Put them on the wall, put them everywhere. Bake them into everything you do. Be conscious about how you're baking them into everything that you do. Stop pinching the pennies and do some things that don't make financial sense at first, but make humanity sense. They make sense because you're like working with human beings, and I want to shower this love on human beings. Okay, and it's one of our favorite things in the world. As we send out these carrot buds and T-shirts and all kinds of cool things, or our clients have babies and we notice and they get all kinds of cool baby carrot kind of stuff. Like we get creative with this stuff, and like so we invest thousands and thousands of dollars into this stuff every single year because it matters, because it's a part of our mission, because our mission is to add humanity back to business and help people regain the precious time in their lives for the things that matter. And we just really feel that humanity matters in business. We feel humanity matters. Okay, so if you can help us to fulfill that mission, it's a hard mission because automation's taken over, because people are more and more working on the transaction instead of the human. Okay, let's help to take back humanity, add humanity back to business, little by little. Okay, find your own unique way to do that. We do it in lots of different ways. In the way that we do support, we do it with this podcast at the mastermind down there. It's such a blast shaking the hands with a lot of our customers who are amazingly successful entrepreneurs, but then having real conversations with them. Dan Lane, the largest home buyer in Tennessee, he was there with his daughter, who's, I believe, in high school. And it was so cool because Dan came out the week early. He was just with his daughter. They went to Disneyland. They checked out San Diego. They hung out. And we had a chance to hang out a little bit, not as much as I was hoping because I had to leave early yesterday. And it was just so cool seeing Dan and his daughter together, because you could tell, man, he's an amazing dad. And you could tell that his daughter just absolutely loves her dad. And you can see in her eyes that her dad is the man to her. And that to me is a big deal. And that kind of stuff right there is what we want to start shining through in our personal lives, even more, shining through in our business lives, shining through so your customers see it. So there's a vulnerability about your business to where people feel they're working with humans. They're not working with an entity that's just going to churn and burn and close transactions. Okay, so I really challenge you on that. Let me know how it goes. Hit me up with a personal email, trevorm@oncarrot.com, trevorm@oncarrot.com, or hit me up on Facebook, and guys, Instagram. So Instagram is something I'm starting to pick up, and I really, really like it. I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 Facebook Lives a week now, so hit me up on Facebook, Trevor. I think it's just facebook.com/Trevor.Mauch, M-A-U-C-H. Then find me on Instagram. It's Instagram, then you got Trevor.Mauch, Trevor.Mauch. And I want to get a couple thousand followers over there, and I'm going to start kind of posting behind the scenes stuff on what we're doing here at Carrot, what I'm doing at home, and how I'm growing, and how I'm struggling with some things. And follow me over there. Okay, so Trevor.Mauch on Instagram, follow me, and you're going to start to be able to see kind of the daily behind the scenes on what we're doing and what I'm doing as an entrepreneur and as a father and a husband and a brother and a leader of an amazing team. All right, so 2 things. If you're in the caliber of investor that's over 5 deals a month and you're looking for an amazing mastermind, go to oncarrot.com/CG, oncarrot.com/CG, and it's legitimately the most amazing real estate investor, house flipper, wholesaling mastermind in the country. And this is something I back it fully. That's where I was this past week. We have a lot of our customers in it, and they're like, they're the highest of the highest customers. So if you are in that realm, then you need to join a mastermind, especially one like this, because I can guarantee you, no matter how big you think you are, there's people bigger than you in a lot of parts in the business at this mastermind. oncarrot.com/CG, and mention that we sent you over there. Next, add humanity. Find one thing to do to add humanity back to your business, to your clients this week. One thing.
and then report back on Instagram or Facebook and let me know what you did. If you wrote a handwritten note, take a picture of it on your phone and upload that to Facebook and tag it to me on Facebook. If you sent something in the mail to a client that added humanity, take a picture of it, tag it to me on Facebook. The people that do, okay, every single person that does this, and I notice this, you got to make sure to tag it to me, otherwise I won't see it. Every single person that does this, I'm going to send you something cool in the mail. Okay, it could be a book, one of my favorite books. It could be some carrot swag. I'm going to send you something in the mail. Tag that to me, celebrate what you have done, and let me know what you're going to do moving forward to add even more humanity back to business. All right? Have an amazing rest of the week. Check out other episodes of the Carrot Cast. And please, please, please do this. This last week, I've had dozens of people hit me up and say how much they're getting out of the Carrot Cast. High-end investors, Tyler Clark or Tyler Ford, he's going to be coming up to our offices here in a couple weeks on a road trip. Check us out. I had a phone call with him. He's a really high-end investor. He said, man, the podcast hit me hard last week about the 5 non-negotiables. And he's like, man, I so want to give you a review and rating on iTunes. I just haven't gotten to it. Please get around to it. Take that 5 minutes, go log into iTunes, go log into whatever podcast catcher you use, and give a rating and review. I mean, that's literally like oxygen for me for this podcast. It also helps to spread the message more. And if you believe that this message is something that more people need to hear, please share it up. Share it up on Facebook. Text it to a friend. Email it to a friend. Do whatever you need to do. Let's get this in front of more people so we can go out there, add more humanity back to business, change people's lives, and crush it. All right? Have an amazing week, and talk soon.